your PC, whatever you call it. Useless agent is on your Facebook laptop or your PC, whatever you call it.
Okay, that was cool. It's always cool. True story. I actually tried to change that a long time ago. Actually, a long time ago was yesterday. I tried to change it and could not even do that version. For some reason, I could not even duplicate a version that I didn't even want. I always wanted something funky, but yeah, it just ended up being what it is. And, who doesn't like a theme song that ends in G? So, alright. So, today is what? The 7th. So, cheers, as we always start off. Today is an interesting one. This was actually asked about. Originally, about, I want to say an hour and a half ago, I had no clue of what I wanted today to be about. And I didn't even have anything in writing. So I checked my memo pad. I got nothing. I checked for little post-it notes, little things in notebooks. I got nothing. So I ended up being asked about jail on, I think I was on Reddit or Twitter, and somebody had asked about it, and they had made a mention of kicking somebody's ass the first day, and that was kind of the joke of it. And honestly, what bothered me about it was not so much the joke. I mean, I wasn't offended whatsoever. It's just there's a common and constant misconception about jail and prison. They're two very different things. Jail is not prison. So that's one, understanding this shit 101. Understanding the hierarchy of criminality 101. So when you hear the common adage that kick someone's ass the first day or be somebody's bitch, that is hard. That's prison, and only in like a hardcore situation. There are plenty of times where you go on through jail without a scratch. Now, living in Chicago, we have Cook County Jail, which is not a walk in the park. It's not fun. It's definitely a test of your. It's definitely a test of your machismo, and that goes for men and women. It's a test of. It's a test of your mental strength and not too much of the physicalities that people seem to associate jail with. For instance, a shower is not a death sentence. A shower is not as terrifying as it may seem. A shower is really a shower. Most of the dudes in there, they don't want you looking at their junk either. So it's definitely understood. It's like kind of like when we go to the when you go to the trough, now, if you're at a baseball game or whatever, Wrigley Field used to have a big trough, and every guy stands against a wall, and we all piss in the trough. Now, that does not mean everyone's going to start pissing all over the place. Um, I've seen videos of guys like in Jackass, running and jumping into those troughs. That's not going to happen. No one's going to grab your junk. And so you have just as much a chance of anyone grabbing your junk at a Wrigley Field game. Back then, I think the new bathrooms are a lot more aesthetically pleasing, but personally, I prefer the trough. It gets the guys out, real fast. Um, anyway, there's a gentleman rule that we all follow, which means, if you're at a urinal, every guy looks straight ahead at the wall. Do not look at me. Do not look at my dick. Do not look at his dick. Do not, it's a very simple, it's a very simple etiquette. And jail is no different. So when you're in jail, the idea that the big Bubba is gonna come over and slap you around, and you're gonna need a Squirrel Master to come save you. It's all funny, but it's not the case. And every time you get out of jail, and I'm also a I don't know, I'm a factor in this as well because I'm no better. I asked my friend Hooch when he got out. I couldn't help but wonder after a few months because he did a good little stretch, and I couldn't help but ask, did anything happen? And right away he's like, dude, that's not how it is. And honestly, I had to see for myself. This doesn't mean I went out searching for it. I fuck up naturally, and the good old-fashioned way. So I get drunk and I fuck up, or whatever. So you do your stint, right? It starts off the same way the TV shows you, okay, with the the lineup and the side profile, the fingerprinting. That all starts at the precinct, and then it happens again. But when you are even on the bus, when you're on the bus and you're shackled, because you basically all line up in the middle of the night it's not middle of the night, it's around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. The guards will wake you up, take you out of the precinct, and they line you up. Once they line you up, they have you placed in joint cuffs where you and the guy on your left will now be your seatmate. So they usually do this around, in Chicago, they do this around Old Orchard. And then they gather everybody up. It seems like that's the hub, like, for criminals. So if you're in the Belmont precinct or whatever, you're probably going to wake up over in Old Orchard. And so once you head up over there, they take you to the Bluebird. You get on the Bluebird, and, that's when you get a little bit of a taste of your camaraderie. You can definitely tell the newbies from the vets. And I did a 2.5, 3 month stint, and when I was put up with my seatmate, he made this very interesting comment, and we were just approaching 26 in California, and that's where the big house is. So once he sees it, he said, "Do you ever get that feeling when you see those bars and you see the barbed wire? You ever get that feeling like you're home?" And that scared the damn shit out of me because I kind of did. At that point, I had been so used to this institution. I have been so used to seeing it and being used to sleeping in it, usually for, 10 days, maybe 15 or something. But I had never really done a full long stint. So this was, interesting. But it was just funny because that's how you really know you're on the wrong side of where you want to be. Is you look at that place and you're like, oh, another day. You shouldn't. You should look at that place like it's hell on earth or something. But unfortunately, the vets know that it's not. So you get in, you go through this long processing process, and it is just tedious. It takes hours for them to seat you because it's worse than the DMV. It's, changing into your DOCs is like the only break you get. Once you're lined up, you go ahead, you get your change of DOCs where you talk to another inmate, and that inmate will provide you with whatever your sizes are. So for me, I had to ask for 11s and an extra large, and large pants. So that means, your shoes, your shirt, your pants. You get over to the side. You end up having to get a check for your money. Now, they take your money and put it in a goddamn box, and then they give you a receipt so that way you can claim your money later. But it's a check. It's fucking ridiculous. It's at first they give you this sheet that is just your items and then the amount of cash you had. But it's ridiculous. They take it all, and instead of just throwing it in an envelope and putting it in your bag, they have to throw it into their box and put it in their system. It really sucks. So, if you had like a lucky quarter, or if you had some sort of rare coin that you were holding on to, you're fucked because that just goes right in the box. Yeah, it sucks. So, your medical history, then they look on your mental history, they look at all of these things combined, and if you're on any kind of medications, you have to speak with the doctor. So you get these different bracelets, and then you have to deal with different departments. So after you're done, I think I had like 7 bracelets, so I had to deal with 7 different departments. After that, you have to get your meds set up. Now, if you're not threatening and you're not starting shit right in the bullpen, and sitting with all these guys, because the whole time you're sitting with your peers, and you might as well make a friend, honestly. Everybody's talking to everybody at this point anyway, because why not? We're screwed. So another question or another misconception is people asking, what are you in for? Most guys only do that to punk you. You really don't have to speak for what you've done unless someone's really confronting you about it. And if they're confronting you about it, either they're punking you and thinking, you're a bitch, or they're trying to recruit you or they think you have money. Usually it's one of those things. So yeah, watch what you say in the bullpen. If you're going around talking about owning shit and having this and that, people are listening. And there are, steps and there are protocols to follow in order to stay safe, but it's just not as violent as it's been put out to be. It is violent though. So no one's gonna be really asking what are you in for. It's kind of a it's I wouldn't say it's a personal thing or a private thing, but usually there is a little bit of respect on that. Um, right away, when you get sent to your pod, you're if you're if you're not starting shit and you're not flagging and you're not throwing up gang signs, because unfortunately you will see some of that. Um, but there's just this weird. Uh, I don't want to say stigma, but there's just weird visuals of jail that they just never get right, and it kind of reminds me of like high school. High school they never get right either, but it could just be that I'm in Chicago and we have different experiences. In high school, for instance, we didn't have any real hierarchies or anything like that. Most people were cool with each other just because we were cool with each other. There was no, yeah, there was no actual hierarchy. There was no actual positioning or compartmentalization or any kind of pyramid, you know. Oh, we got another one to throw up. We got something to throw up. I thought we had something. Yep, there it goes. Thank you. Oh man, I forgot to make that stupid widget. What? So yeah. So you're not gonna hear what are you in for. You're not gonna have to fight Big Bubba or anything, but punking is another thing. There is a lot of that shit, and you really have to look at it like high school. So it's funny that the movies always get those wrong, and they're the two things that are so similar because of the way people act. It's not necessarily it's like high school because of any kind of hierarchy. It's like high school because people are very immature. You're gonna have to deal with shit slingers and spitters, and it's like I don't know. It kind of reminds you of being in if you ever had to go to summer school with like the really fucked up kids. The guys that like setting shit on fire, and the kid that needs fucking mittens pinned to his shirt and shit like that. They have to write on a circle of paper. You ever wonder what happened to those kids? Well, you're gonna meet them. And the the funniest part that I think is kind of like it's the saddest part, but it's the best part is when you recognize at least two people. If you can recognize at least two people, you've been there before. And I don't mean you've been there before. I mean like you're a regular. So for me, I remember my first time being in jail and seeing somebody saying what's up to all these people and thinking, oh God, don't let that be me. Now, if I go to jail, I'm sure I'll run into some motherfuckers. And this one dude's got tattoos all over his face now. I remember when he only had two. I watched this dude's whole evolution of facial tattooing, and that was cool. The haircuts are awesome. People won't acknowledge that, but one of the best things about jail is the dental care and the the dental care, the amount of what's the word? Oh, the amount of health concerns that they tend to is actually pretty phenomenal. It's like, I had a toothache, so I simply made a request to see a dentist. I saw a dentist in like a week, got my problems fixed for the most part. She managed to locate the wisdom teeth that have been bothering me forever and was starting to work on the practice of drilling them out. And, it's free of charge. You're not going to get taxed. You're not going to get a bill at the door. It's pretty sweet. Food sucks. You definitely want to make friends. The racial divide is there, but it's only there in, I don't know, it seems like it's only aesthetically there, and of course there is a bonding there, but that's just because of the cliquey aspect of jail. And remember, it's jail, not prison. So yeah, I love making friends with the old timers because they tend to be the coolest ones to play, spades with. And oh yeah, you better learn spades. If you're gonna be in jail, learn to play spades because they're gonna do a lot of that shit. Work on your card playing. Like you picture the guy, straight news, straight laced dude, suit and tie and shit, glasses, brown suit. Hey, imagine this dude's gonna get put away, right? And somebody says, well, let's give old Danny Boy here some encouragement and some advice. That would be the first thing I fucking say. Is, oh yeah, work on your card playing skills because you're gonna play a lot of spades, bro. You're gonna play a lot of spades or hearts or it, it's all you really get is cards, cards and chess, and yeah. So yeah, work on your card skills because you know what, you can win some good shit too. Because then there's the beauty of commissary. Now, if you're in here long term, you're going to want some commissary. All right? So, if you don't have any money on your books, that means you don't have any money that is available to you. And you can't make a phone call because you can't afford it. You're fucked. But if you got somebody looking out for you and can put some money on your books, then you get commissary. Now, personally, the only time I had money on my books was twice, and one time I didn't even know the motherfucker put money on my books. This dude just wanted to help me out, and I knew him from jail. He heard I got locked up again, so he just started filling my books up. I didn't know. If I had known that, I would have bought a bunch of stupid shit. I would have got me some ramen noodles. So, basically, commissary is just a list of some dumbass shit you can buy that's going to be really more of a trade-off. It's really going to be your currency. So, you want to try to get shit that comes in bulk and you want something plentiful because you want to be able to be trading this shit off to people because that's what you're going to have to do. If you want some cool shit. Now, you can even buy shoes in that motherfucker. So, the more the merrier. So, make sure you got money on your books. Make sure you got somebody to put money on your books because they're going to have to call in, represent, and so make sure you got somebody on the outside. Kicking someone's ass or being someone's bitch. You ain't gotta do either of that shit. That's done. That's it. If you're in jail, all you gotta do is be real and act like you've been there before. Act like you belong, you know? Act like you've been somewhere. It's pretty fucking basic, you know? If you know how to look, if you know how to walk around in a scary neighborhood, okay? And it's because that neighborhood ain't really scary to you. Okay, you're a perfect candidate for jail because you know what, you'll be able to handle yourself. Now, uh, the people that don't know how to handle themselves are always the loudmouth motherfuckers that think they're funny as hell. They're the first ones to get their ass whooped. So pay attention to whoever's in your fucking circle. Yeah, I don't care if you're in the bullpen or wherever. Look around because you're gonna see one loudmouth motherfucker that is going to get his ass reamed, and that's just gonna happen. Ass reamings happen. All right, the more you know. Um, so, for instance, I'm my own star. Okay. So, for instance, you seen the movie Friday, all right? And you know the classic line, Smokey out here taking a shit, all right? This one kid decides to yell that shit about a white dude in the bathroom. Now we're already in the pod, we're already locked up, everything's already done. You know, this is like day 100. Sorry, this is like day 30 or whatever. So, you know, it's been a minute. And so this new kid comes out, loudmouth motherfucker, and he actually yells at about a white dude coming out the bathroom. What you don't know is the white dude coming out of the bathroom is an old fucking Navy SEAL dude. Maybe not a Navy SEAL, but he was definitely a Marine. I know that. And this old dude tells him to come here, you know, does the come here motion, and just fucking sends this dude an apocalypse. Like, just beats the shit off this kid, man. I mean, like, just beat the brakes off this little kid. And it's because he was loudmouth and wouldn't shut the fuck up, and he thought he was hilarious. And it's always the clown that goes down, you know? So don't be clowning, you know? It's okay to make jokes here and there and shit. You want to make people laugh and you want to have friends. But, you know, the last thing you want to do is be a clown. You know, that's, you know, kind of where it separates with high school. High school, it's okay to be a clown. But not in jail. You don't want to do that shit. So, yeah, peace gets you more than violence will. Violence will only get you less people to trust you. And I think one of the more important things is you need to stay focused on your CO. You want to know your CO, get to know that guy, and be straight with him. You know, I was really fortunate one time. Actually, I think it was like 2 times. I was friends with my own CO. Like, I knew him in the real world. Now, you also got to get used to certain nomenclature, because, you know, there's certain words we use, you know, like CO and shit. So when I met my CO out in the real world, and he was real cool, and I introduced him to some Japanese beer called Sapporo, and his girlfriend was friends with my wife at the time. So I was lucky that I had a guy like that, because at the time I had no money on my books, so he made sure that I did. Like, he would hook me up with shit. So, get to know your CEO. Make sure that you don't want to be the class pet, but you also don't want to be, you know, your class, and you don't want to be your CEO's enemy, because he can make your life hell. And I've seen them do it, and I've seen them do it with fucking smiles on their faces and shit. So, also, I try to set up yourself with a job. Like, I always have a job in jail. I'm always the lunch dude, the cleaning dude, like, and you don't have to kiss ass to the CO. You just got to be real with them and offer some help, and if, you do well, you do well. And, yeah, I try to stay out of fights as much as possible, because if you're gonna fight, it better be worth it. Because you don't want to get in a fight and then be sent off to a harder sentence, or be sentenced off to a harder, you'll be thrown into a harder cell with a different fucking pod, and, there's just bad connotations that come with your name. You know, snitches get stitches. Yep, that's very real. That is very real. Do not snitch on anybody. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Don't point. Don't fucking say anything. I don't care if they ask, how did your mom die? Say, like, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm sorry if your mom died, by the way. I'm just saying, like, if someone asks, like, how did your great grandfather die? I don't fucking know. Don't fucking snitch on anybody. So, keep your mouth shut, but know when to open it. Keep your eyes open and know when to shut them, because sometimes you're gonna see some ugly shit. But you always have to remember, they ain't got nothing to do with you, and if it does, hey, man, God bless. Good luck. But if you don't have nothing to hide, you ain't got nothing to worry about, you got nothing to worry about. It does matter on what your paperwork is, if it comes down to something serious, like domestic shit, and basically you just don't want to be caught anywhere with children involved. If you got some children involved, you are going to be in trouble. Now, in the bullpen, you can usually tell which motherfucker did some weird shit. And I've been in a few with some pedos, and I've seen pedos get their fucking ass whooped. And when they talk to their lawyers in the bullpen, somebody's listening. And when they hear that a kid was involved or a lady was hurt, a lot of times dudes are going to step in. So hopefully you just got caught stealing from a fucking Target or some shit, because that's the only time it'll really matter, though. I don't know why this came. Well, yeah, I do know why, and I told you why. But I know that was an interesting step away from what we normally do today. I just wanted to get some shit cleared out about prison and jail, how they're not the same. Just like having a dog is not the same as having a baby, so please do not fucking say they're the same. They're not. A dog dies, you can fucking move on with your life. Babies are fucking delicate, and you have to fucking watch your shit. You don't have to watch your dog every fucking second, alright? A baby needs to be watched at all times. I'm just saying. There's apples and there's oranges, alright? So there's prison, there's jail. There's babies, there's dogs. There's apples, there's oranges, okay? That is the point of today's show. And that's all I'm going to do today. That's my time. So thank you for spending some time with me today, if you did. We're now on Twitch. Still working on TikTok, but we're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, SoundCloud, R1D, um, Apple Music, and I want to say, McGroove. We are everywhere. So please support us where you can. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, complaints, go ahead and just give us a message. Or if you just want someone to talk to, hit us up over at uselessagentmusic@gmail.com. Useless Agent is always looking for more help, so we always want more people. Thank you again to those that recently just subscribed, and thanks again for subscribing to us on Twitch. I hate using that word. We love you guys, and as always, I will see y'all on the other side. We'll have a whole new idea for tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.
Useless agent is on your team.